Hello! We are now live for a very special edition of the Ladyland Art Club. Hi to everyone who's joining. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. Today we are doing a special version of Art Club. Usually it's on a Thursday, but today it's on a Tuesday as well. And that's because we're going to do some competition entries for the Creative Earth competition. Which is run by the WWF and also by the UN Climate Summit that's happening in Glasgow in November, and that's called COP26. So if you guys are joining us today, we're all going to be creating our entries to the competition. I have my helpers today. Where are my helpers? Can you want to come and say hello? I have this guy, Elliot. And we have an extra person today. This is Kate. She's our next door neighbour. And she is in a childcare bubble with us because her mum is a key worker. So what we need to do today is to create an artwork in this circle. And these artworks, the winners of these artworks, there will be some prizes, which they haven't announced yet, but there will also be the chance for these artworks to be shown to the world leaders at the UN Climate Summit in Glasgow in November. That's pretty cool. And so what we're trying to do is show the world leaders what your idea of the future looks like. As you are the young people of this world, I can't enter this competition. I'm not under 16. But I'm going to show you some ideas and we're going to have a look at it. But if you don't have a printer or if you haven't printed it out, don't worry, because all you need to do is draw a circle on an A4 sheet of paper. So you could just get, that's sort of about the size of a cereal bowl. You could just trace around a bowl and then you have to write a description underneath. So you can do it on a normal piece of paper. I'm going to show you guys some examples of what we could do, and then we're all going to do some artworks that answer this question. The future belongs to you. What do you want it to look like? So this is what we can tell the world leaders, what you guys want the future to actually look like. So some of the ideas that might be involved in this might be cleaner oceans, it might be protection of animals, it could be clean renewable energy, or it could be fairness for everyone who's affected by climate change. So there's lots of different things, and I think having all of those things in one picture, it's quite a lot to draw. So maybe if you want to, just choose the one thing that you feel really strongly about, or the one thing that you feel like would be a really good thing to put in a picture. I'll show you guys some examples here of different ways of doing artworks that sit within a circle, because what we're doing today is designing something in a circle. So obviously a circle is a great shape to do for the world, isn't it? To do a picture of the world. And we've got a picture of the world here that, oh, where is it? Here. That Elliot did. That was for the climate strike, wasn't it? School's climate strike. And he's actually used ripped bits of paper here. If you tear up bits of paper and stick them down like a collage, you can make quite a good collage that looks a bit like the world. So that's a good way of doing it. Some other things that look great as a circle, or other sort of symbolism that we can use. So a mandala is actually, you see it in Asian cultures, particularly in Hindu and Buddhist cultures, and they've been around for thousands of years. And what a mandala actually is it's a view of the universe, and it shows you within the image that they create, there's all sorts of symbols and meanings. So you could make your own mandala and maybe add symbols and meanings to the mandala. So it could be bees, it could be wind turbines, it could be turtles and endangered animals. So another one is the green man. So you guys have learnt about the green man before, haven't you?
Yeah.
So the green man is a European symbol that gets used to represent life and vitality and nature. And I thought it could be quite cool. You could use your circle as the green man's face, maybe, because what he's, so he would probably be a good symbol to use as an image for this. Your vision of the future is a rejuvenation of nature. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys is something to do with graphic design, because I'm a graphic designer, and graphic designers create artworks that are usually very bold and very simple, but they're often really memorable just in their simplicity.
That's Obama.
That is Obama. So this is a poster by Shepard Fairey for when Obama was being elected, and that's become really, really famous. This one is the smiley face, which you guys, I know you guys all know that because it's been turned. So the smiley face was actually created in 1963 by a guy called Harvey Ross Ball. And that's an image that has been used over and over again. Maybe
I got
you could.
A shirt with the smiley face.
You do.
It was in Forrest Gump where he wipes his face on a t-shirt.
It was in Forrest Gump. You're right. So maybe your circle could be partly smiley face, and then with other images inside it. Or maybe you could just have one really strong word like hope or love, something like that. Just think of the one word that you really want to capture and put that inside your circle. Do a famous artwork now, because I think we want to have a look at how other artists have represented nature, because this is all about the power of nature, isn't it? It's all about restoring the planet and restoring nature. This is a really famous artwork called The Great Wave.
Yeah,
I
I've
love
seen
that
somewhere.
one. That's on like TikTok as well.
It's on TikTok,
Yeah.
okay.
I've done a school thing about it.
Yeah, so everyone's suddenly listening now because they've seen this on TikTok. Well, what if I told you this artwork is 200 years old? And what's really interesting about this artwork is that it's showing the power of nature, and it's showing how tiny people are and how powerful nature is. Scientists are striving at the moment to harness the power of the oceans to use as energy. So there are things being built like undersea water turbines and things like that. And that's something we can talk to the world leaders about and say, let's harness the power of the oceans to create energy rather than burning fossil fuels. Present. So maybe your artworks are all about the endangered animals, and maybe you're going to be speaking to world leaders to say, I think we need to protect the habitats of these animals. So maybe you could draw some
just
animals.
build over them and send those animals out of their home.
Yeah. So
I would draw an orangutan.
an orangutan, yes, the orangutans, their habitat is being destroyed, isn't it? So when we were just talking about symbolism, and we were saying that the green man is a symbol of life and vitality, and that mandalas were symbols of a vision of the universe and a vision of information and a way of teaching people different symbols. Well, I think an animal that has sort of become a symbol for the climate change cause to get behind is the polar bear.
Oh, I did a placard.
You did a polar bear placard for the climate strike, didn't you? So I think polar bears have become such a symbol for climate change because their habitats are one of the first to go, aren't they?
And they're adorable.
And they are adorable. They're also fierce and terrifying. I wouldn't want to come across one. But maybe.
I saw an ad when I was watching some YouTube, and it was like they might be like guessing this thing. It's this boat that collects water in the ocean and turns it into ice to restore the polar bears.
Oh wow, that's amazing! So there's a boat making ice in the ocean to help the polar bears. That would be so cool, wouldn't it? So that's exactly the sort of thing that we can put in our picture to tell world leaders. This is the sort of thing we want to see as young people in this world. We want to see these habitats protected. So maybe you could draw a really happy polar bear. Look, this guy looks pretty happy.
The little baby.
Little happy polar bear on his iceberg because his habitat is protected. Another animal that I think comes to represent everything we're doing for the environment is bees. So did you know that bees are responsible for 85% of plants existing because they pollinate plants and they create an ecosystem? that we really, really need to look after our bees. And bees are often the first to be affected by things like pollution and pesticides, and even things like mobile phones can apparently affect bees as well. And while we're talking about habitats, what about humans?
We need a better habitat.
Because there are some people on Earth whose habitat is being destroyed. So in the South Pacific Islands, there's nations like Kiribati and Tuvalu, who are South Pacific Island nations not far from New Zealand. And New Zealand has actually just announced a climate refugee visa, which is the first of its kind, because these countries are going to lose their habitats because of the rising seawater. So maybe
they're getting flooded.
They're getting flooded, and
that's the reason why they're doing the boat thing.
Yeah, and so countries like New Zealand are taking in refugees because of the climate. So
so their like home is being destroyed where they live.
Yeah, their home is being destroyed. So there's things that are becoming more common there, like flooding and things like that. So other countries.
It doesn't seem that there are any houses on the island.
That's only 2 tiny islands. These are countries that are made up of lots and lots of small islands. So in Kiribati, there is about 100,000 people that live in that country. But
wow, that's
in
not
in years to come, their country might not exist. So maybe you could do something about that. Maybe it's about how we look after each other as humans.
And making literal greenhouses.
Yeah, so this one, now I've started thinking about what if we think about how we use energy, because energy is obviously a huge part of climate change. We need to stop using so many fossil fuels. We need to think of more renewable, more clean ways to create energy.
But what if dinosaurs come back?
They can't.
If we're
Pretty sure dinosaurs aren't coming back. That's not the sort of fossils you need to worry about. But maybe your vision for the future is where everyone lives in a house like this, with solar panels, with grass growing on the outside, creating lots of
and more fresh.
Yeah, lots of plants that are taking the CO2 out of the air.
I mean, it'd be hard to grow plants on the edge of our house.
It would be hard, but we could put some pretty big solar panels on our house.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it wouldn't smell of like petrol when you walk out.
It wouldn't smell of petrol. See, these
solar panels?
Solar panels are these things up here. Solar panels are where the sun shines down on them, and they're like big batteries that you put on your roof. Giant batteries that are powered by the sun. So the sunshine comes down onto the roof and it creates electricity that you can use to power your internet and your light bulbs and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. And then we don't need to burn coal to make electricity. And while we're talking about things in the sea, maybe you'd like to draw something about pollution. In the Pacific Ocean, there is a patch of garbage that is as big as France, Italy and Germany combined.
Wait, isn't that
It's called the Pacific Garbage Patch, and it's just full of plastic and rubbish. So what we need to do is we need to clean that up, and I think that's the sort of thing we can say to world leaders.
Before and after,
like I would send
pollution in the sea and no pollution in the sea.
I would send boats to pick up that pollution, like net by net.
Yeah. So now it's time for us to create our pictures. So I want everyone to have a think about what they're going to draw. You might want to draw a mandala. You might want to draw a map of the world. Maybe you want to draw a happy polar bear or some happy bees, or maybe an amazing house that is entirely run on solar energy, or a big wave using the powers of the ocean. That would be really cool, right? Or maybe you want to have just a single word, like remember our hope poster that we saw. Maybe it might say something like, I don't know, peace, unity, fairness for everybody.
There could be one thing like clean.
Clean, yeah, clean. So the only rules of this are you have to keep it within the circle, and you have to use the colour green somewhere in it.
Only green?
No, not only green. You can use all the colours of the rainbow, but you must include green. And then I'm going to put up the details of the website that you send it into. You could write harmony. You could write balance. It's a balance between humans and animals to make sure we all work together. Remember, the first one you draw doesn't have to be your final version. You can do a couple of practice runs and then you can do your final one afterwards. Frida has finished her artwork.
By the way, this is a fox and this is a bunny. Just so you know, I'm not the best at drawing English animals.
Okay, I think they look fantastic.
100% nature.
Beautiful, and those are 4 different habitats, and you want to see all those habitats?
Habitats with no man-made, no pollution, no plastic, just nature.
And what are those habitats? Can you go through them?
So that's a beach, like a Hawaii kind of beach.
Yeah.
That is like an English kind of muddy sort of forest.
Yeah.
Taco out of the Lego.
We've got fish who are happy with no pollution, and who are the other guys?
This is a tiger. Kate thought this was a leopard, but it's a cheetah.
A cheetah.
In the rainforest.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, that's fantastic. My tiger, he does look angry. You know what? He looks angry because his habitat is being destroyed and his family is being hunted by poachers. So he's really not happy about that. But I might give him a sort of slight smile, maybe.
What are poachers?
Poachers are horrible people who come and try and steal animals from
Also,
the
there are people
forest.
who cook eggs in a certain way.
They cook eggs in a certain way.
Yeah.
Oh, poachers, like poached egg.
Yeah.
No, it's not like poached eggs. It's different to poached eggs. But poachers, they hunt animals and then they use animals, like they'll take their fur and they'll sell their fur, or they'll take their elephant's tusks, or sometimes they'll just chop the tusks off an elephant and leave the elephant to die in the wild.
The elephant isn't evil, but they're evil. Pure evil.
Poachers are pure evil.
Even
That's
more
why,
evil than Ivy.
Do they get money? Is it just for the money?
yeah, because there's awful bad people who will pay them for things like elephant tusks. But that's why organisations like the WWF are so good, because they send people out into the forests, and these people live in the forests
To stop poachers.
stopping poachers.
Because poachers are pure evil. They should be illegal.
They are illegal
Then why do people still be poachers?
because some people are
Because that's like asking,
really mean.
that's like saying, why do people still rob houses?
That's right. Some people are just mean kind of people.
Evil people.
There we go. This is my... Someone says they like poached eggs. I like poached eggs.
So,
But I don't like poachers.
So that's my leafy tiger. If I was to colour him in, I can show you. I might make him a green tiger. So he's like a tiger, but he's also a symbol of the rejuvenation of nature.
what does rejuvenation mean?
Rejuvenation means when things regrow. So you know in winter how the trees all lose their leaves?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then in springtime, there's lots of new leaves and new growth on the trees.
Yeah.
That's rejuvenation.
Well, nature needs to be reclaimed.
There we go. Oh, Kate, yours is looking lovely. Can I show show everyone yours? Look at this. Says nature. You've done a typographic effort on yours with a little curly bit. That looks like a little bit of a fern or something that's growing. Very nice.
I don't know what other fish to draw. Oh, a starfish. Wait, no.
Starfish, yeah. Oh, you're doing your other habitat. You're doing the happy ocean now.
When you're
There you go. Yes.
old,
When I'm old, yeah.
we will be grown-ups.
Yes. And then you
So-
won't be able to enter this competition either.
No, but then it will be out. But then we'll have to live with it, and then because
Yes.
it goes on to the next generation.
That's right.
Of kids.
That's what this is all about. So this competition is all about making sure that the grown-ups who are making the decisions. Now all these artworks, the winners of this competition, these artworks will be shown to the very grown-ups who make decisions about these things. They are the ones that make decisions about how much money do we put towards clearing up the ocean? How much money do we put towards investing in wind
say
energy
million,
or
billion
solar
pounds.
panels for everyone's houses? Yes.
If the government are making this happen,
Yeah.
then they don't need us to prove that it's good, because they're making us prove that it's good.
When they know it's good.
Well,
And they think it's good.
that's the thing about grown-ups.
They
Some
need
grown-ups
to know
believe that it's
we
good.
think
Some
it's
grown-ups are actually more interested in making money.
good.
And some grown-ups are more interested in things like using lots of fossil fuels because...
And tax.
And tax. But tax, if it's used well, can go into helping with this sort of stuff, you see. So we
Yeah.
have to convince the grown-ups that the best way to spend the tax that all the mums and dads pay, they can spend it on things like clearing up the ocean and
Do you know where the
stuff
black
like that.
pen
That's
is, Mama?
world politics, just simplified right down.
Mama,
Do I know where what is?
the black pen.
Black pen. I've got a black pen here. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm going to continue working on my...
the pen.
Don't regurgitate. I hope we're not regurgitating anything. So when you have finished your design, we have... okay, so thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm going to continue working on my...
the pen.
Don't regurgitate. I hope we're not regurgitating anything. So when you have finished your design, you have to add a description to the bottom of your page. If you don't have this particular page, just write a sentence under the circle that you have drawn. And when you then you have to get a grown-up to take a picture of it for you and email it to the competition, which is run by the WWF and COP26. And it's all part of their big campaign, which is all about the future belonging to you guys, and it's all going to be seen by the world leaders at the UN Climate Conference. So you need to send in a photo of your entry. It's only one entry per person, or you can also do it for your class. If you think your class at school might be interested in this, then the teacher can just collect everyone's entries and send it all in one go. And then you hold on to the actual drawing, because if you're one of the shortlisted winners, then they'll want the actual piece of artwork, then you send it off. So you take a picture of it and then keep it safe, because they might come back and say, actually, we want your picture to go in the exhibition or to be seen at the Climate Summit in Glasgow in November.
That is a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure, but you know what? You can do as many drawings as you like, and then you can choose your favourite one to send off. But hopefully I've given you lots of ideas for your entry. The entries are actually open until the 5th of April.
I'm
So
kind
you've
of
got a
happy
little
that
while
you
to do
can't
that.
join in, because then you would just win straight away.
Well, I wish there was a competition for grown-ups, because then I could send in my leafy tiger. Yes, and I'd like to say a big thank you to the WWF and COP26 for getting me involved in this and getting everybody getting a bit arty. And hopefully you guys have more pencil sharpeners than us, because it turns out that all of our pencils are blunt, which I need to fix right now. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, and yeah, I can't wait to see your entries. Send me pictures of your entries so we can share them. That would be really, really cool. Oh, there's a hashtag we need to use. Hang on a sec. Hashtag Together for Our Planet. When you take pictures of your entries, use that hashtag Together for Our Planet, and then we can all have a look at it. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.